Hey guys, Kev here, and I have a new knife from Toor Knives. So this is a company I haven't worked much with in the past, but they reached out and wanted to collaborate, and they wanted to send me a knife to check out at the same time, and I was like, cool. You can get free shipping on your Toor Knives with the code LEFTY. So if you want to use the code LEFTY, you can. Get yourself some free shipping. USA made knife, 325 bucks apparently. And this is the Draper in OD green. I'm an OD green guy, so well, let's see how they did. The last Toor knife that I reviewed was the only Toor knife that I reviewed, and it was when they first started making folders. It was called the Chasm, and it didn't go so well in that video. You can check it out if you want. But I've heard a lot of good things and that they've come a long way with the folding knives. Now, this one I believe is a crossbar lock knife. So you guys know my feelings on crossbar lock knives. I absolutely despise them. But I do respect that a lot of you like crossbar locks. So I always go in with an open mind. These are guaranteed for life. So you can pause and read that if you like. There's a phone number on there too. And here's some other information. All right. There's some information on why they make knives now. Okay. They wanted to bring something to market that was a little more affordable, I guess. Here is a cloth. Cool. Here is a sticker. Cool. Here is a knife. All right. Let's check it out. This is pretty lightweight, which is interesting. The handle material is G10, I believe, which is how we're getting this lightweightness. So I guess this is kind of their sort of bug out in a way, like, you know, G10, Grivery, that kind of deal. It's not going for that premium market with titanium or anything like that. It's got an interesting handle shape, kind of boot-like, kind of cool. G10 on the backspacer as well. You have a lanyard slot there. Clip is, I think it's reversible, folks. I think it just goes on top of the scale. So being a crossbar lock knife, it essentially has to be ambidextrous on the clip because it really defeats the purpose if you're not going to include a lefty style or side clip. So we're going to look at that. I'm going to point out one very kind of strange thing to me here. It's almost like the tale of two knives. I have no idea why they went with satin up here and then black or PVD coated down here. Why didn't they black out everything? I think it would have looked much better if it was all blacked out or all satin, but I think all black would have looked the best. Find it interesting. It is dead centered, which is very nice. Looks like we have full liners. No, actually, I don't think... Well, we're going to find out. Interesting thumb studs. It's a crossbar lock, so we're not going to have a detent, unfortunately. Let's see how these thumb studs deploy. Yeah, I was a little worried about that. Okay. I don't know if it's meant for slow rolling. Could be. They're not really, they're not the knife company that's trying to make the most fidgety knife. You know what I mean? That's a fact right there. Never, I think, have been striving for that. So, you know, they're more in it for the tactical aspects, and I can appreciate that. So we're going to keep that open mind going. It says USA 287 Magnacut. Oh, Magnacut. Well, that's nice. That must be the reason for the price point. $325. Considering it's all G10 so far and stainless steel bits in there. Does look like full liners. Let me see. Yep, that's a full liner and that's a full liner. No milling on the liners, so they could have relieved even more weight that way, but honestly, it is lightweight, so I don't think that's really an issue at all. I'm going to reverse this clip and see if that helps me at all here with the deployments and such. I'm guessing it's on washers. just by how the action is. You know, it's not like super tight. It's kind of smooth. There's no, like, I'm not feeling any grinding or anything. It's just not free, if that makes sense. Like, it's not free balling like a lot of crossbar locks do. But I think it would break in. Not something you're gonna, I think, be able to flick out too easily. Maybe with time, as you can see there, I'm able to do it with a little bit of wristing. Let's break it in a little bit. But yeah, there's absolutely no detent here. Even when we're talking about the spring tension on these Omega springs or whatever they're using, they are weak as fuck. Which, you know, not for me. I want strong springs in there, so I can at least get the, you know, fake feeling of a detent. It is starting to break in, though. Tell you that right now. So it's going to start being able to flick open easier. Like that. See? And you know what? I don't mind when a knife comes out of the box like this, as long as it does break in, because it means that, you know, my knife is nice and tight or whatever. That's what she said or he said. But at the same time, I do want a little bit of like resistance here. You know, it just feels like there's not even a detent. It just walks right out. So maybe it's meant to be slow rolled. The location of the thumb studs is such that it's, even if it had a stronger spring, it wouldn't be good for flicking, you know, again, without the wrist. And that's because the thumb stud is pretty far away from the pivot. So if it was tucked in here a little bit more, you'd be able to kind of flick vertically. You'd have a more of a tight feeling. But being out here, there just is no, it just, you know, there's too much leverage, I guess. The pendulum is too far away from the pivot. Do like the machining looks good. Nice robust stop pin there. Crossbar lock is a decent thickness as well. See if there's any play in here. There's a little bit of side to side. Really probably shouldn't be, considering the way the action feels out of the box, being stiff. But just a little bit. There is zero up and down. I really appreciate that. Let's see if we can't see if we can tighten it at all. I'm trying to look at what they got going on here for the pivot. We have I think it's a T8, maybe T10. And then if you look in here, that goes deep in there. I don't know what's going on this side. It's almost like this is a, fuck, what's the name of it? Oh, why can't I think of it? Bushing. It's almost like a bushing system. So let's see what we have. It might be T8, actually. Are we in there? Okay, so I'm tightening. Oh. I don't know if I slipped there or if it jumped. This side looks tooled, but it also looks interesting at the same time. Let's see if that tightened it. Yep, I think that tightened it. So let's see if we have any play now. Yep, we still have the same amount. Centering still looks good. Yeah, I think it's just, I don't know. Let me try a different type of T8 bit. I think this one's meant for like a holding feature. I think that chewed it up a little bit. It sucks, those are expensive. Let me see if this fits in there. Yeah, see, now that one went deep in there. This side, not as much. And yeah, I can't tighten that at all, so. Yeah, just got to deal with that little mic. I mean, it's such a small amount of play, but it is there. Just something to mention. But the up and down, man, it is a bank vault, and that is important, I think. So that's nice. The tip here is tucked away, which is nice. I wish there was some kind of milling or grip on the scales because, I don't know, just feels like a knife that should have some milling on the scales, you know? Let's see what's up with the clip. Let me see if I fuck this up or if it's good to go. I think we're good. Oh. Yeah, it's not really sticking in there, but that could be the screw, not the bit. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of these of the weird color kind of combination. But, you know, whatever. I'm sure there's other options out there. These are interesting screws. Okay, so let's do this. Put these little guys in there. Okay. This guy on top. Is it? There it goes. So it is T8. Just be mindful. I think if you're using a bit like this, yeah, this one's toast now. That you got to make sure it gets in there deep enough. I think I have one more in here. I've gotten so used to using those bits that I actually prefer them now. So might need to get some more. All right, so we got the clip reversed, so now I can grip it, which will make it easier to deploy and retract on the knife, especially close it because I can hang on to something. If you're walking this out, it actually feels really good, you know. I think we're coming from a brand where they actually are, you know, their knives, I think they're promoting slow rolling out and closing, you know, like this, not fidget stuff, you know. And I mean, it is smooth. You can see it breaking in. I mean, I can feel it. It's almost, look at that. Yeah, that's nice. Doesn't feel like there's any more of that blade play, but it's still there. Obviously, you can tell that bugs me. I'm OCD. I don't want any play. I don't love the thumb studs. They're kind of, I don't know. I just don't. They need some jimping around the edges here, and they seem really tall. And they have that kind of nipple thing going on. But, I mean, they're functional. They work, especially if you slow roll. Again, I feel like that's kind of what the aim is here. I don't think there's any adjustment on this. No, I don't see any adjustment, which is not something I need to have. I just want stronger springs from factory, you know. And you could potentially swap these out, but I don't know how this is set up. It looks like it's set up more like a Benchmade, where, you know, trying to swap springs and stuff might be a major pain in the ass. I could be wrong, but that's what it looks like, so I'm not going to mess with that. But you can see the washers are breaking in really nicely. Yeah, I dig that. Let's see if it's sharp. That was one of the things on the Chasm that I had an issue with. It came dull. So let's see, with a couple years of practice and whatnot, how we're doing. Oh, yeah. Now that is what I be talking about right there. Very, very nice. Now, Toor Knives, if you guys aren't aware, since, you know, people who follow my channel, we haven't checked out a lot of Toor Knives, right? They are a brand that does more tactical knives. So again, that's why I'm saying, you know, leaning towards that slow roll, not worried about fidgeting aspect of it. They have some very popular fixed blades. So some really cool ones that I do want to try. Some of their like not daggers, but like the self-defense style fixed blades they have that you can put on like your battle belt or something. And in a pinch or whatever, you have a, you know, a pretty slim, you know, knife that you can utilize. They just look cool. They look mean as fuck, and you know, kind of like an ice pick style or something like that. Really cool. But yeah, so there you go. Let me know what you guys think. This thing is breaking in like butter. Draper. The Draper. 325. Yeah, guys, I know for the materials, I do like the Magnacut a lot. The thumb studs, are we rocking steel? What do we got? I think we got titanium here on most of this stuff, actually, which is nice. What about these? Hard to tell. I think those are steel. I think they're just coated, but it could be the barrel or something pulling. For $325, you can get a lot of knife, you know. Whether you get it from a Chinese company, right? Then you're going to get way more knife for the money, but, you know, it's a whole different ballgame. You're talking U.S. versus China, so you can't really compare. But let's say you compare it to like Benchmade or Hogue or something like that, right? That's kind of who these guys are competing with. You know, I think price point wise, they're in line with those guys. So I don't think they're more affordable by any means. When they were doing their more premium knives, I'd say not really premium, but more premium materials. I think they've done some aluminum. I don't know if they've done titanium. You know, those price points seemed more amenable compared to the competition. This seems, yeah, $325 is a lot of money for G10 and Magnacut. But, you know, I would venture to guess with how robust this lock feels. Not necessarily the side to side, but it's like, yeah, there's play, but it's not like the kind of play that worries me in any way. It feels solid, just has a little bit of side to side movement. Don't know how to explain that. But up and down, man, it is absolutely solid. We could test a couple of whacks. I'm sure they'll love that. I don't really want to whack my tray here. You know, just for good measure, I guess. No offense, Kaiser. Okay, nothing crazy there, but just, you know, whacking. Yeah, it's still solid. And now the action is, I mean, it's nice. Flicks out. It drops. I mean, it's going to start free balling here. Reverse flick's going to be difficult because you kind of have to wrist it. So you got to wrist the reverse flick. See how easy that comes out? That is a concern for me. Like, you know, just doing a little bit of that, it comes out of there. So you just got to be a little bit mindful, but if you carry it in the right pocket, it should be fine. You know, I much prefer a compression style lock or a liner lock or a frame lock. I mean, something other than a axis bar lock. You know, I'd probably even take a plunge lock over that. Like if they made this an auto or something, I'd probably be more into it with that. But, you know, a lot of people love this lock. So what are you going to do? Pretty thick stock. So this is, you know, this is going to be a robust knife. It's going to handle a lot. Blade shape is, you know, it's upswept at the tip. Not my favorite, but it's a drop point. It's, you know, it's a very traditional style of blade shape for a US made knife, and it's going to be useful for a lot of things. So, you know, I don't think they're really aiming towards like a collector's market. I think they're aiming towards more like a one and done kind of guy who buys a knife, uses the shit out of it, you know, that kind of deal. The clip, I will say, is a hot spot. It is chewing up my palm. It's just jabbing me in the palm. So don't love that. I wish there was a milled clip that was flat or something. Like the angle of the clip is kind of weird. For me, if I designed this knife, I would have put the clip over here. And I would have angled it that way. But I would have never designed the handle this way anyway. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I'm just saying... I don't think I would have got myself into that situation where this could be a hot spot because it's right at the edge. And whenever you have a clip that kind of comes over the edge of the handle, it always ends up just eating your palm up. So if you were going to do some hard work with this, it would hurt. And that's going to be the case right-handed too. Obviously, you just are going to reverse the situation there. But I think aesthetically it looks nice, looks clean. The build construction feels pretty good. I will say, compared to the first knife that I handled from them, which was one of their absolutely first knives, folding knives, sorry. This feels like leaps and bounds better all around. So I love to see that improvement. So, yeah, USA made, and here it is, Toor Knives Draper. So if you guys are interested, check it out. There's a link down below, and again, if you use that link, it helps the channel, but that's up to you guys if you're going to pick one up. And if you use that code, Lefty, you will get free shipping. So that's always helpful. Let me know what you guys think. I love you. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day. Shout out to Toor Knives. Thank you for sending this out. I always appreciate being able to handle things and give my honest opinions and, you know, get to know the knife a little bit. I'm glad I got to break it in a little bit. I mean, you can see it's a night and day difference. Like, this thing is actually pretty fun to fidget with after you break it in a little bit. If they could find a way to just eat up that blade play right here, again, very minimal, but it's there. And then if they could upgrade the springs, I really want to see better springs in here so there's just some, you know, some resistance. Like, there's just nothing there. If they could do those two things, I think that would bring it a long way. But as is, it's still very good. I mean, it's functional, and it's, I think these would be a very strong companion for somebody looking for a work knife, you know? Yeah, that's it. Love you guys. Hope you have a great day, and I'll catch you later. Peace.